Hey guys, I'm Muggsey and welcome back to Ark Survival Evolved Paragon series. We are hitting the ground running here today and finally going after this 140 Pteranodon, who, as we discussed at the end of the last video, had slowly worked its way all the way over here, almost up the ramp, and now I am kind of following it. Just trying to follow it and see if it'll work the other way. What I don't want it to do keeps getting really close up there like that. I don't want it landing up top. But I'm going to have this bola out just going. Oh my god. It's getting really close. Here it comes. Alright. What you'll see with pterodons is they'll go up in the sky, they'll kind of flit around, doing nothing. And then they'll start to kind of make a slow diagonal drop to the ground. And that's what I'm waiting for it to do, and I want it to do it. It happens about anywhere from a 30-second to a 2-minute interval, unless they've been attacked. And we've been very lucky that to this point she has not been attacked by anything. And because when they get attacked, they go flying off like a bat out of hell, just into the distance. A lot like we saw in the first episode, if you remember, right there on the beach. She could have been miles away by now. Bam, got her. All right. So I don't have a crossbow, so the bow is a little less efficient. Doesn't do as much torpor up front. Couple headshots. I'm hoping she falls before the bola runs out, but the bola only gives you, I think, 8 full seconds, and then they're gone. If it runs out, we are gonna have to just sprint like crazy, try to keep up with her, and hope she doesn't fly across a bay somewhere. Nah. Okay, here we go. I said I'm so used to doing this once I get a crossbow, and the bow didn't have enough punch, man. See how fast she's gone. But luckily she's flown that way. She'll stop like basically now, and she'll be dropping aggro. Oh, she's way out over the water. Guys, I may have messed up. Let's go see. If we see, that's at least a cool looking one. Hey. No, okay, look, there she is. Alright, so we may salvage this yet, and she's actually in an even better spot than she was before if she's over here. So this is actually great. So she's out on the point where the worst thing that you're ever going to see right over here is compies and dillos, okay? And since she's over the water, what she'll do is fly around for a second, and then she'll have to come back over land, and she'll fall right here on the beach somewhere. Okay, yeah, so that is her. And that's all we're looking for, is just to wait for her to come on down, and then she will still have some torpor build up from that last run of arrows. So, man, this is that got my heart going, that I thought we had gone through all that trouble of kind of messing with our progression curve just to tame her to get up to the trike and all that, and then I thought we just lost her. All right, here we go. She's coming down, and we will get her this time. No chances. Bola, get that bow out. Don't use real arrows, trank arrows. 2, 3, 4. And she's out. Alright, so to explain something that you probably saw there about me hesitating to shoot, it's probably what caused her to be able to fly away from the initial volley. But remember we talked about when we were taming the trike how you don't want to hit them after they've gone unconscious. And the thing about trank arrows, darts, any of the advanced ballistic taming methods that they have a time release effect with the torpor buildup. So you hit, there's an initial burst of torpor damage, and then there's a time release. And you learn that number one, you can save on ammunition by basically doing a 5 count, shoot, one, two, three, four, five, and then shoot again. So you're not just constantly like bam, 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 just burning through your amp. You will notice, guys, I'm terrible with my own wooden spike walls. I bat myself around like ping pong all day long, all the time, but I have never killed myself on my own walls. But anyway, the the build up. So what I was doing also, though, more importantly, is I don't want to lose any more levels than I know I'm already gonna be losing because of the fact that we're doing this with raw meat. So I just really want to be careful not to hit her after she fell unconscious. And you saw that I was about to shoot again, and then she fell. And that's kind of where that hesitation was coming from, especially since we're a little ahead of the curve. We wouldn't normally be taming the Pteranodon yet, so we don't have a crossbow. And even though you can reload the bow a lot faster than the crossbow just empirically has a lot more punch than that bow does, and would have knocked her out the first go around there. In the end, though, I think it worked out in our favor. So we've got a little bit of time. Pteranodons have, I'd say, in the mid range, a faster torpor drain rate, much faster than the trike. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna get Tuck over there to kind of stand guard while I then go about some other tasks. But we've got a pretty lengthy process ahead of us. We did, look it up in Dodex, and this is a 4 hour plus tame. So we're going to have a lot of time to try to do some task management. And this will be a good time to talk about the fact that when you have a long tame, you want to also plan to do other tames at the same time. Because you could sit here and we could just tame the pterodon and spend 4 hours. Watch this. Don't forget that Tuck is only level 21. He will probably take an hour and a half to kill this dillo. But anyway, 4 hour tame. Why wouldn't you knock out a few other tames at the same time instead of 4 hours pterodon and then 2 hours more for a few, more dillos, or, you know, 4 hours total to get 5 dinos, or 12 hours to get 5 dinos. Take your pick. Task management. We're going to try and pair up some taming on top of the pterodon taming, because all we're going to do for about the first 2 hours here is just feed this pterodon blackberries and stacks of 40 or 50 at a time, intermittently until it's starved out to a certain point. Then we'll dump some meat on it and it'll, go up as high as it wants to go there, and we'll finish out the tame. So anyway, we're going to get Tuck over here and then kind of go about some other organizational tasks. And oh lord, so you remember when we were taming the trike and I said trikes get stuck on trees? Come here, fat boy, let's do this. Anyway, guys, so yeah, I'm bringing Tuck over here, and then we are gonna probably, I want to rework these walls a little bit too. I kind of want to close off this entire side, so that I have to kind of go up and around this rock. And oh, Jesus, Lord have mercy, John. That's my name, guys. My name is actually John, and sometimes I have to refer to myself in the third person because I'm so stupid with these dang walls. But yeah, berries and stacks of 50. That's also why I wanted to have about 500, 600 to start, because as you look at the torpidity, we were gone for maybe about, yeah, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and it was already down to about the 60% mark. So I mean, it's a pretty quick thing. We are going to be back and forth here. So because of that, well, in the immediate future, I want to get the area stabilized. I want to get any hostiles out of the area. I want to set down a large storage box in the, spike pen with her, because once we've really got it set up, I don't want to leave render range too often. There's many reasons for that, but as you see here, I'm starting to save the crops seeds. There's 4 different variations, but I need a little fiber for that box. But there's 4 different crops, and you'll learn those 4 seeds that you need to keep. You really only need one of each, because once they're planted and growing, they'll produce their own seeds. But we're gonna have to get crops planted and growing here soon as well. So yeah, let's get this box set down. And I want to do this. It's just an organizational, you know, thing that you do, that when I'm going to be in this area for the next few hours going back and forth, I'm going to constantly be gathering. I not don't want to have to go back all the way to the base every time I need to unload some weight. So I'm just going to dump everything in the box during the tame, and then when we're done, we'll truck it all back to the base. So anyway, pumping a few more berries in her, but she's pretty stable now. Let's go ahead and get this other wall up. Like I said, I want to kind of close this whole side off, so we've just got one entrance in around this rock, and that's I think it's pretty well situated. So let's get to some more clear cutting here real quick. Another thing we're going to be needing is need to keep gathering some raw meat. So I think Bunny Dodo, meat tuck. Now we're going to need 100 or more raw meat. That's how much she will eat in the process of her tame. So I want to get somewhere between 100 and 200 raw meat, about 3 stacks or more. That's a good change they made to the game. Meat used to only stack to 20, and they doubled that to 40 now. This is kind of a neat little place to build a tiny base, actually. It's almost like they made it to have a little base built here, huh? But yeah, if you notice, I'm talking a little quieter right now because my wife has gone to bed behind me, and yeah. Anyway, guys, I think we're about to the point of trying to do a few just menial tasks. So why don't I bring you back once I've got everything together, and we'll get on to the next set of tasks that we'll do to make the most of our time today. All right, we'll see you in a bit, guys. All right, we're back, and we have, let's shifted a few things around. We have taken Tuck up top and farmed up probably about just a couple thousand berries, and have those on her almost up to her weight cap, really. And we're just gonna be feeding her these for the foreseeable future. Instead of having Tuck down here guarding, I've brought Iggy down, and he's just gonna stand here and also hold a few more stacks of berries and kind of be my meat locker. This is a little trick we're gonna employ later, which is timer manipulation. I'm gonna just reset the timers on these. I don't. It's something that I do. I've got a little bit of an OCD thing going on, so reset the timer on all those stacks, and in a way, you can kind of perpetually, keep as much of your spoilables at kind of a high timer by always splitting the highest, whatever got the most time left on the stack, split it up, and then just dump all the ones that are about to spoil back into that, and it'll just perpetually kind of increase the timers on things. But anyway, I'm going to go get Tuck, who's been left up here in the forest, and farm a few more berries. We need to make some trank arrows here because I have decided, while we now have just a bunch of time, we're going to go get those two Pachys finally. So, one thing I know we're going to need preserving bin. There you go. And we're at stone tier. So we've got a few more levels. There's crossbow at 25, which is a big stone tier crossbow. A few other things are kind of the segue into the next level of taming, is we're going to need to be able to make traps that can't be busted. And most everything on the island, with the exception of gigas and alphas, most creatures can't damage stone structures. I think the only notable one that can even do damage to stone would be the Therizino, and it it doesn't really do a lot of damage to stone. It just, when it does a headbutt, and it'll do, just a little bit of damage to a stone structure. But I mean, you can tame Therizino in stone easily and just do a little bit of repair after. Anyway, but yeah, I think now that we've got a bunch of time on our hands, kind of, just intermittently going back and pumping some narco berries into the Pteranodon while she's kind of starving out. We're gonna go get us some just some fun tames here. There's no need for the Pachys, none whatsoever. They're not a very good tame. Um, and I'll talk about what they do in a little bit, but I don't know. It's just they're there. There is the mate pair, and I think one thing I want to do with this series that might be slightly different than others that you see is that just because there's not some immediate use to a tame, I want to basically tame everything. I want us to have the menagerie. There is a achievement on all platforms for taming all tameable creatures. And I'll be honest with you, I've never gotten that achievement. Oh my gosh, the Lima Trike is still around. I would have thought that would have despawned by now, but yeah. So we've done some organization in the off time here. Everything's a little bit easier now. You may notice I don't put on. You can click the little 4 bar tab there and choose an auto organize, like by alphabetical, a sort order. I tend to like to be able to manually sort my inventory, but that's really just a matter of preference. For now, I think we are about done around the base, so let's run back over here and check the Terry, making sure not to draw too much aggro from that icky. And you know what? We might try to tame one of those parrot with this Terry tame. If we could find one kind of under 30, 25, 20, somewhere in there, it would time out just about right. They're very lengthy tames when you're doing it with just raw fish. You have to feed them raw fish, and they take a lot of babysitting. But they're all over the place on the beaches. If we can find one near the Terry and knock it out, it would be doable and would be a really good option to fill this time. It would be good use of the time because it's another very involved tame. That's got me thinking. Anyway, for now, let's go find this Packy. I think we've got everything sorted. Might need to craft up a couple more walls, but yeah, we're going to go look for the Packies and get those guys done. Speaking of them, here they are. Packy's very easy. Bola, shoot. Probably 5 or 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Very simple tame. tame them on foot too, really. If you've got a couple points put into speed, the only thing you got to watch out for them, you notice they've got that bony plate on their head, and that's kind of what they do. The problem being that they're just not very good at what they do. They run up and they headbutt you, and that induces torpor and can knock you out, right? And then once you've tamed them, you can actually put a saddle on them, despite them being tiny, and you can do that attack as a special attack and induce torpor, and you can knock things out if you don't kill them because they're just not very efficient. And then the secondary problem is being such an early game type tame with barely better stats than a Dillo. They're by the time you'd want to go out and get a high level version, there's just way better options. Namely, like the Equus is a significantly better torpor inducing tame with its hind leg kick than the Packy, and the Equus has there's not even arguable, just significantly better stats. So people just end up ignoring the Packy. But I don't know that we're about ignoring things just because there's no particular use for them. We're here to have fun, and we're here to just kind of experience all that the game provides. So we've got this guy out. I'm going to pump a couple more berries, and we're going to go right to try and find the female. She's right in the area, and we'll get them both knocked out and tamed up about the same time. And right up the hill from where we were, here she is. Ooh, a Tepajara and a Meganura. Meganura alone aren't really a problem, but I'm still going to kill this guy. Giant mosquito. Their AI is kind of a scavenger type, basically, if you knock something out, but really if you kill something, they'll run up and try to eat the corpse. And in groups, I believe, I never really pay much attention to them, but in groups, I believe they will aggro on you if they have some buddies with you. So I'm going to take this opportunity to show you that how you kind of can easily kite Pachys. They're just not very fast, adding to the reason why they're not that good. So Bola in the place I want her, so we can get her in the same pen, and process repeat, right? Tame, as we're talking about, just hold, count, maybe she'll fall over. Pop her one more time. Ow. Alright, I'm gonna move these walls. You may have realized by now I make very liberal use of wooden spike walls because they are cheap to build and highly effective. It's kind of the devs threw us a bone there in making something that actually works to spec, right? So I think it's something like 15 hide, 30 fiber, and 40 wood. And that's all you need to make that big section of spike wall. In fact, I think I said it before, I really need to line the whole base area in these things. Just get a good perimeter around to keep anything from getting up into the base directly. I've kind of been lazy and I've left the base wide open, and that, in theory, there's a good chance it could be a problem at some point if I don't get some walls up. So I'm thinking next episode, after this big taming episode, we're gonna probably do a base building episode and really get our base towards the legit side, right? So we have us a pair of Pachys taming up. Berries on. I need to get some narco berries for her. Yeah, I need to go get some narco berries. And then we also need to run back and go check the Terry because we've been enough time. She's probably about 50% down on her torpor by now. And, let's just put a few on her to get her stabilized, and then we will make our way back over to the Pteranodon, or back over to Tuck at least, see if I've got any more berries. We've got a little time on the Pteranodon. Like I said, it's a medium drain. It's not like you gotta be there every 5 minutes or it's gonna wake up like a Therizino or a terror bird or something that just They have super fast torpor drain, but we definitely want to be doing about 10-minute, 15-minute intervals with the Pteranodon. Oh man, we got to knock some bushes down. That's fine. So I am really liking this idea of going for the Ichthyornis, the seagull, while we're in this process. So if on the back end we're over there by the Pteranodon in the next few minutes, and we find an Ichthyornis of the correct level, then we will try and knock them out. They're easy to knock out, and also very easy to kill. So it's another, like, remember way back when we tamed Subject 1, I told you about kind of survival of the fittest. Ichthyornis definitely falls in that same kind of category of the game will allow you to kill them very easily, and if they die, then they're probably not worth your time. But anyway, we'll talk about seagulls later. We are back at our Pachys, which are already taming up very quickly, so we may get this tame in before we need to go back and see how our Terry is doing. Yeah, look at that. Wow, he's 65% finished tame already. So yeah, we're gonna stick around here, and I'm gonna get these berries popped on them because they need the nom noms. And yeah, we'll finish both of these guys up, get them back to base, and then probably go check our Pteranodon. I just repeated myself like 3 times, but that's okay. I need water. It's probably because I'm parched. And we're back. And I just noticed we have a visitor. That has got to be the silliest looking, cool looking chalet ever, right? Man, the Easter event does some weird things, I'm telling you, but I love it. Oh, man. So I jumped up I paused record and jumped up and went to the kitchen to get a birthday cake bang out of the refrigerator, and these guys tame up lightning fast, man. All you guys missed really was me putting a couple more wooden walls up, and they're back, and he's already up. So, wow, I'm sorry we missed that, guys, but we've got the female, so we'll see her pop if that's what really gets the digs. But let's get his name changed. I'm thinking MMA. So, what do you know, like Chuck Liddell? This will be Chuck, and that one will be Rhonda. Uh-oh. Let's hope the walls break line of sight. Okay, so here we go, perfect example of the fact that as soon as you start doing something, the AI wants to bring everything in the area near you. And the thing about chalets is they're supposed to not like things being around them. But Ark being what Ark is, they still path like right into you and then want to start a fight. Like it's your fault they walked into you, right? But oh man, that guy looks cool. I want him. We can't tame him yet. 25. I don't care. That'd be like 10 beers. Yeah, if you don't know, chalets, to tame a chalet, you've got to, or Chalicotherium, to tame them, you got to get them drunk. We got to make beer, and I don't think we can make the beer barrel until the mid-30s. So it is definitely looking like the next episode is going to be a building episode, and we're also going to probably do our first level pump where we get enough to make about 600 to 1,000 narcotics and multiple morts and pestles. We go hit some boxes and we get a bunch of narcotics going at the same time, and then since we're already into stone tier, make a bunch of those stone foundations at the same time, and that'll be our first big level pump where we just shoot up 10, 15 levels in a matter of minutes, and that'll open up a lot of options, because honestly, we tamed this Pteranodon. It's going to be sitting around the base just getting passive levels, but I really want to get the saddle on it, and the saddle is level 38, so We're in our still in our 20s. We need to pump it. This guy's actually kind of making me a little uneasy. So I'm gonna close this off with a door, just so he can't wander his way inside here, and then kill the tames because those Pachys wouldn't stand a chance against that guy. I don't care if they're tamed or not. And if it's 2v1, he will wreck them, and we don't want that, right? So I'm just gonna put a door. Just he'll be fine as long as he doesn't come too close. You've got to be basically. You saw how close I got to him to check his level. You got to be like right, almost touching him, and then he'll be like, "Rrr," and then start swatting at you and throwing big poop boulders at you. But anyway, we've got Chuck up, level 27, Packy, whoop whoop. And now we're just kind of waiting for Rhonda to pop up. And, kneel and go. Sometimes that'll happen when building on a sloped grade like that, with a door on a fence foundation. If you've got a wall on top, the character sprite will clip. So just press C to crouch and you can get out the door, or just put two door frames stacked on top of each other and don't worry about it. I tend to like to actually put the door in it though, so that there's just a complete visual break at that point. But I want to move Tuck away because I don't think he'd even survive a fight with the Shally, and a wise person would be trying to get rid of the Shally, but I actually want to tame him. I'm serious, guys. So that's on our docket of to-dos, so long as we can... Oh, man, he's making me uncomfortable. If she were to have woken up right that moment, and she is any second now gonna wake up. But okay, he's going the other direction. But I want him. So that's gonna happen as soon as I can get leveled and get some beer made up. There she is. And Rhonda? That's it, Rhonda. Okay. It's with an H, right, guys? I could change it later. Anyway, well, we've got him, and the Shally has chosen to leave us alone, so let's bust our Packy pair out of this pen and get him back to base, and I think we will probably end the episode with a final feeding of the Pteranodon and call it a day. But don't judge me, guys. Waste not, want not, alright? I could just be busting the bottom foundation, everything go away at once, but I want all my materials back that I can get, right? You ever notice this, that there's a delay before they'll start following you? I just want to get them away, and I've got them on lowest. They're going to start butting me all over the room. Boom, 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 boom. I'm going to have to... Alright, low. That one. Now this one. Boom, 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 boom. Stop. Alright, low. Alright, now they'll be off my tail and won't be just bumping me all over the map. Any dino that's on lowest follow, if their character sprite is big enough, will try to get close to you and it'll just bump you and constantly move you all over the place. So low is usually the better setting for just general following with most creatures, especially if you remember from the previous episode when I had the Dillo with me. When moving Dillos, lowest is very good, but when you're actually out hunting with them, they'll be too close and you'll constantly be hitting them whenever you're cutting with a hand tool. So back to base. I don't know, there's always something really nice about coming home, isn't there? True in life, true in game, right? Just something peaceful. Ooh. Oh, guys, this is supposed to be a family-friendly program. I'm not sure what you're doing under there, but don't ask, don't tell, I guess. Oh. I just checked the time. It is almost 35 minutes on the episode, and we're not even yet ready to throw meat on the pterodon, so we're probably going to cut it off here and do the second half of the terry taming. Why every time I walk around here you want to just drop trowel, man? Come on, give me a break. That's it. You see, I don't think she could have fallen out in a better place. So what looked like it could have been a big mess up actually really turned out for the better. Like she has just been 100% safe over here. Iggy has let me know he is bored out of his mind just sitting here waiting and waiting and waiting. Anyway, guys, that's it for this episode. We have got two new members of the family, and we are set. The sun is setting on the episode. We'll see you later, guys. Bye.